I'm going to change the destiny of 4 young players' future on Football Manager. Because every season, hundreds of players are released from clubs and no longer wanted. But what if they were given the gift of being the best player ever? Well, that's what's going to happen today, as I'm going to pick one player each season for 4 seasons to give a maximum potential. And we are going to watch these new potential best players of the world attempt to change their destiny to see if one of them can lift the Balon d'Or. Yes, it's very simple. I have simulated 1 season, and what we're going to do is if you go to the world transfers, you can have a look here and it says release players. Now, of course, you've got to go to July in that first, well, every season, because that's when obviously contracts run out. And if you have a look from clubs, even some of the biggest teams in the world are going to be releasing players. So it's quite a fun thing to do. And what I think would be quite entertaining is to see if we can get 4 players from 4 of the biggest academies in the world change their potential to 200 out of 200, which is the maximum you can get, and see if their trajectory changes. They have gone from just being released from what they thought was going to be their big future, and unfortunately it didn't pan out that well, to now be given the keys to have the potential of being the best player ever, and see if their second chance pays to have them, of course, win a Ballon d'Or. So I'm going to have a look through all of these talents that we've got here. I mean, there's players from all different, there's a lot of Barcelona talents coming through here. I'll have a look and see if we can find an 18-year-old, and then that's going to be the player that we choose in year number 1. And I think I have found him. Joan Mascaró, an 18-year-old Spanish left winger, as you can see, has just been released from the Real Madrid Academy. He made 5 appearances for the Real Madrid C team. It doesn't look like he played any football last season. He don't look very good, does he? Now, he plays from the left-hand side. He can also play left midfielder. You can see here, determination's quite low, which might have had a big factor. But if we're looking at his details, his current ability is 77, and his potential is only 112 out of 200. So we are going to change that for him right now. He now has 200 potential. So we can see if he ever reaches that maximum potential, and of course has a better chance at winning the Ballon d'Or. Because let's face it, you ain't going to win a Ballon d'Or looking like this. Okay, so we've gone a season ahead, and as you can see, Joan Mascaró is up to an 85 current ability, and he has a club. He is playing at Peña Deportiva, who is in the Segunda Federacional Group 3 or 4, so it's kind of like the 3rd or 4th tier of Spain. I've never heard of this team before, but at least he's found himself a club. That's good. That's positive. He played 12 games last season and got 1 goal and 2 assists. A good average rating, but we're not like pulling up trees here, are we, Joan? So obviously he's still only 19. He's got a lot of chance to go, but that potential might carry him, of course, to become a world-beaten player. But we are at the end of another season. We are at the 2nd of June, which means we do, of course, have to pick our second player to go alongside Joan as potentially being one of the best players in the world. And I think I have found that man. Now, Thomas Hatton, and this was a really difficult one because a lot of the players that were released this season seem to find clubs almost immediately. So my criteria was an 18-year-old who came out of one of the big clubs that didn't find a club straight away. Now, we found a player who was already wanted by St. Mirren, so the chances are he might have been snatched up by St. Mirren, but it could also happen that he might never be found by another club again. Now, he is another winger. He's 18 years old. He can play on both sides, so I don't mind too much. He actually has quite good base attributes in terms of physicals. Mentals, he obviously has 2 good ones, determination and flair. Technicals, yeah, he looks terrible. So Thomas Hatton was from the Celtic Youth Academy. And you can see here, Celtic B team, he played 19 games for them before being released. And if we're looking at his attribute details, I have put him up to the maximum, but he was at a current ability of 77. So this guy here, Thomas Hatton, is going to be the second player that we have chosen. The 4 chosen ones are Mount Rushmore of new potential players. Thomas Hatton is the second player. Oh, wow. And look at the impact that change can have, because Thomas Hatton in 1 season went from being released from Celtic and looking like his career was over to join in Manchester United, which some would say would mean that is definitely where your career is over. I believe in Thomas Hatton. Now, he's gone straight into Manchester United's under-21s. They do have a very good youth academy and, of course, on the game and a lot of youth academy players. But going on a free transfer, he played 34 games for... That's starting, actually, with 8 goals and actually made 14 appearances off the bench as well, with 6 assists and 3 player of the matches. So he's actually done quite well in his opening season here with a max potential. And, of course, he went up from 77 to 93. Far from, not even halfway to his full potential, but a really good step up there for Thomas Hatton in one season. But what about our old friend Joan Mascaró? I say old, he's now 20. He's no longer a teenager. We couldn't buy him if we did Youth to Gold, which, by the way, there was a Youth to Gold recently if you have missed it. You can only sign teenagers and see what you can do. Now, current ability for Joan is 104 current ability. At Peña Deportivo still, 44 appearances in total with 5 goals. So that's really good now. And he has developed quite well. Now, that determination's gone up a little bit. The pace is up to 15, as his technique. He's starting to look like a really good youngster, but I feel like he is like a season or 2 behind. If you had him as an 18-year-old there, you go, this guy has something. Of course, still at 200 potential, 104 current ability right now. That professionalism is, I've put up to 20, because I feel like if we didn't have that, then yeah, he wouldn't stand a chance. So Joan Mascaró, after a couple of seasons, has got somewhat a little bit better. I don't sound too optimistic about that. Either way, though, it's time to pick some more players. Now, I think we've obviously got to find a release player that's 18 years old, but I'd like to keep it where we just keep finding players from different nations. We've got Spain locked down and we've got Scotland locked down, so let's try and find a player from a different nation. All right, now I've been searching for a good half an hour. There are not a lot of players, and I think the reason for it is we're at a point now where new gens are starting to come through and they signed 3-year contracts. There isn't a lot of players who is being released, but what I have found here is Justin Haas. Now, Justin, I believe, came through in that first season, and he left Bayern Munich to go to this team here called Scalding. Now, at Scalding, he joined as a free transfer. He's had 1 assist in 17 games this season. He does not look amazing. Now, Scalding is, again, another team I've never heard of. They're in the regional leagues that we can see here in Germany, so that's kind of like 4th tier and down. And I think he's a perfect candidate because I can't find anybody else who comes close to being a candidate that has left a big European club with, obviously, good youth academy prospects. So, Justin, looking at him a little bit more, he has 66 current ability. That might be the lowest that we've had so far. With just 100 potential ability, we are going to double that. So Justin Haas now has 200 potential ability, and to be honest, he has great mental attributes as well. And that's another reason why I wanted to pick him, because whereas the other players had different attributes in terms of technicals and physicals, he doesn't have very good technicals at all. But the mentals are already there. This is a nice little project. He is also a centre attacking midfielder, so in terms of a Balon d'Or win, I think that's quite a realistic thing. We've got 2 wingers and a centre attacking midfielder. 1 more season to go, I think, is obviously where we pick the final player. So let's add Justin Haas to our shortlist because he is going to be the 3rd chosen player with a max potential. Oh, what are the chances of this? A season later, Justin Haas is also at Manchester United. So the centre attacking midfielder moved from Scalding, 62k. Bit of a bargain for a 200 potential player. 21 appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches as well for the young lad. The young centre attacking midfielder from Germany, who does look a little bit better if we're looking at his current ability now, 94. So he has definitely improved. But let's have a recap of what the other guys has been up to. Thomas Hatton is now 20 years old. He is still at Manchester United. Bit of development there. He's also on the loan list. Doesn't look like he's been playing for the first... Oh, he made 1 Premier League appearance, in fact, off the bench. But non-competitive, which would be youth academy players, 25 appearances with 8 off the bench. 7 goals, 5 assists, so not too bad either. And as you can see, he's up to 103 current ability. Joan Mascaró, though, still at Peña Deportiva, now 21, up to 228 current ability, but he's wanted by Burgos. So maybe that's a bit of a step up for him. Getting good physical attributes as well. So, yeah, they're in the Hypermotion League, which is the league below the La Liga. So that would be a great step up. That would be a great step up. 78 appearances in total, 12 goals for the young lad. And this season, a great season as well. So he's showcasing that he should be playing at a higher level. But we need to find now our 4th and final pick. I think I know the club I want to get it from if we can find the perfect candidate. And I think I found the perfect guy for it. Coming out of Manchester United's academy, after they stole 2 players, I thought, well, I haven't got the English league yet. I wanted to get one from the Premier League. Who better to go for than a Manchester United academy player who's barely played any games, a lot off the bench as well. Mark McCartan, he is Northern Irish. He is a striker, exactly what I was looking for. And he doesn't look too bad, but he doesn't look great. He's 18 years old, left-footed as well. Great natural fitness, good finishing ability, but not exactly quick. This guy's perfect. This guy is perfect. Now, let's have a look. 80 current ability with a potential of 90. He's arguably the worst one that we have found so far. Good professionalism, etc. But let's move him up to 200 potential ability. Mark McCartan is now the 4th and final member, our Mount Rushmore of talented players, or not very talented players, that have been released, that we have now made potential superstars. So here's our 4 players that we are now going to follow their career. And of course, Joan Mascaró's had a bit of a head start there. Thomas Hatton and Justin Haas has both moved to Manchester United. With Mark McCartan exiting Manchester United, it's going to be very interesting to see where he ends up in this first season, if he can find a club. Okay then, 1 season in, and he has a club. Mark McCartan is at Brentford, so that's really good. He's found his way back to the Premier League. Yes, Premier League. They are still in the Premier League as well. Now, 19 years old, going into the Premier League side. Could he break into the first team? I don't really know. It's one of those things. Sometimes AI managers never really give youngsters a chance, even off the bench. And I always wonder how they ever develop, because he's only actually played 5 games, non-competitive, with 10 off the bench. He scored 5 goals. He's done all right up front. It's just whether this will affect him. But there we go. Let's have a look at the rest of them. There has been a move. There's been a big move too. Of course, Joan Mascaró was looking like he might have moved to Burgos, who was in the 2nd division of Spain. I thought that would be a really good move, but no, he's jumped the level. He's gone to Leipzig in the Bundesliga. Now again, he doesn't look like he could potentially play for Leipzig, and I don't think he has featured at all. He hasn't. Was that this season? Yeah, it was this season. So he has failed to make any appearances for the first team. He's only made 4 appearances for the youth team and scored 1 goal. That might be a bad move. 195k for the move, but it might be a bad move. You're 22 years of age now, Joan. That was probably a poor move. Hey, if you want to see more videos like this where maybe we agent these guys, then that could be cool, because I do enjoy the development side of things in terms of Football Manager, especially when it's like just random players you just make and turn into beasts. I love that kind of stuff. So in this in this video, where the challenge, should it be, we're not exactly hampering with anything other than their potential. We're not changing or deciding where they go. So if that's something you want to see where we do decide, then by all means let me know. And if there's enough interest in it, then we'll do it. So Joan Mascaró could be a bad move there, but he is up to 131 current ability. The 2 lads at Manchester United, though, 44 games and one goal, 39 games and 3 goals. So let's look at Thomas Hatton there, who was the oldest of the 2, 21. Again, not really developed just yet. He's played 9 appearances. He's actually made 8 appearances this season for the first team. 2 starts in the Premier League. Very good. Got 12 goals in terms of the youth football, but 2 assists in terms of Premier League football. Very good indeed. I'm happy with that. So that's a good start for Thomas Hatton, who is now up to 115 current ability. Justin Haas, who was the year after him, 2 years younger, 110 current ability. So already catching up to the other ones, and he does look quite good. However, not getting any game time. He's made one appearance off the bench. Doesn't look like he's done anything else. But for the youth team, 48 starts with 2 appearances off the bench. No goals, but 14 assists for the attacking midfielder. Very selfless player after moving to Manchester United. So, strange move. The Mascaró one to Leipzig. The other 3 all in the Premier League right now, but nobody is starting any games just yet. So let's go forward a few seasons. Let's go forward 3 years and see where we pick things up. All right, we're 3 years later, which means Joan Mascaró should be close to his prime years in football. But where is he? Joan Mascaró is at Hibernian. Yeah. Who's seen that coming? So, of course, with a maximum potential, he is finally getting first-team football, which is a good sign. He moved on a free transfer after never playing for Leipzig very often. I mean, 2 appearances there, both off the bench, 4 appearances there, all off the bench. Finally get a move to Hibs, and he is playing first-team football and starting. This is smart moves for Joan Mascaró. 3 goals, 1 assist. Where did Hibs finish this season? They got Europa League football. He must have won a cup. 7th place there. So that's really good for Joan Mascaró. And you can see he's already got a little bit of extra current ability. Up to 155 now. Good sign. Very good sign indeed. That's good. He's also wanted to go to Saudi. We're looking at getting Balon d'Or wins here, my friend. That might not be a good move. Stick with Hibernian for another season or 2. Then find a big European club where you could potentially win the Champions League. That's what we're hoping for. But Manchester United was featuring in 3 of these other players. None of them are at Manchester United anymore. Let's go by age, because Joan Mascaró is now 25. Thomas Hatton is now 24. He is injured. Is that a bad one? No. He is at Borussia Mönchengladbach. And he has the highest current ability out of the 4 players. So Thomas Hatton, age 24. Oh, and he does look good too. The Scottish player, of course, who came through Celtic's Youth Academy and got released, went to Manchester United. He has been around the block. Wow, okay, so he went to Manchester United, a couple of loan deals, which was good for him as well. Like 35 games going to Scotland, then to Hoffenheim. Going to the Bundesliga and getting 28 starts there. Then a free transfer to Gladbach, where he's had his best season yet. 8 goals, 2 assists, a cracking average rating as well for Thomas Hatton, who looks fantastic in terms of physical attributes. Technically, he looks good as well. Mentally, he is not exactly bad. Plays on both wings. This is a really good player, actually. I'm impressed with that. 160 out of his 200. Good start for Thomas Hatton's career there. Justin Haas, of course, he moved to Manchester United for quite a lot. Well, I say a lot of money. It was like 64k. He is now at Osasuna after moving. Oh, he's only on loan. So he's still at Manchester United. We still have a player at Manchester United here. Went on loan and got first-team football. That's good, because outside of that, he hasn't been getting any first-team football at all. I mean, this is the weakest one out of the 4 that we have seen so far. 139 current ability. Still not bad, but not amazing. And he's been playing, by the looks of it, in a DM role, which is bizarre. Let's have a look at our striker, Mark McCartan. He is currently at Preston. That could mean he was on loan. And it is on loan from Brentford. Oh, he could be the best option we have now. And the reason I say that is his attributes are spread out really well. He's only 5'9", but great composure. Off the ball is nearly there. He's only 22 still, remember. Physical attributes are fantastic. All right, so he's at Preston on loan. He also went on loan to Woking, where he had a good season as well in the National League. This is what I like. He's earning his stripes. Preston in the Championship got 12 goals in 43 games. Not the best average rating for Mark, but we're looking at his current ability of 138. And remember, he is the youngest out of the 4, sorry. Justin Haas is the same age, but I think just a little bit older anyway. and 139 and 138. That's not bad. Valuation of the player, Justin Haas and Mark McCartan are the two highest, although you could argue very similar to Thomas Hatton, who has a £68 million top half of his transfer value, and Joan Mascaró looks like he's leveling out. But that might mean because of the league he's in, of course, Hibernian, because he's actually a Hibs player. That might be the reason why. But this is interesting stuff. Now, let's take a look at our Ballon d'Or winners so far, because, of course, I doubt any of these have actually won a Ballon d'Or yet. But who have we got? I mean, Mbappe's won quite a lot. Vinicius Jr. and Bukayo Saka is there. Okay, let's go another 3 seasons. Do you know what? I noticed on one of my videos the other day on the analytics, 400 subscribers just from that video was added. So I'm wondering, could we get to 500 from this video? Can we get plus 500 subscribers on this video alone? Anyway, let's have a look at the shortlist, because things have really heated up. Yes, we're all looking gravy, baby. Let's have a look. Joan Mascaró, 28 years old, is at AC Milan, and he's transfer listed. I mean, I'm still excited because he looks fantastic, and we have a great current ability of 183. Why are they transfer listing him? He's one of the best players in the world. He looks fantastic. He's also wanted by Everton, Manchester United, and Newcastle transfer, and Villa as a loan. Okay, so he made the move from Hibs on a free transfer again. He's only signing 2-year deals. He went to AC Milan, 31, who, by the way, is a club I looked on all 4 of the years, didn't release a single player that was like below 20 years old. 31 games in his first season in Milan, 12 goals, 6 assists. Really good season. Second season, not as good, but still decent. 28 games with 9 goals and 4 assists. Now he's on the transfer list, and I don't know why. Milestones. Has he won anything? He's got an international cap for Spain. That's good. Obviously, we knew about him winning the Scottish Cup at some point when he was at Hibs, because he played in the Europa League. But that's about it. Interesting. Let's go to the second oldest player, Thomas Hatton, who is at Real Madrid. This is what I'm talking about. 27-year-old Scottish winger at Real Madrid, moved from Borussia Mönchengladbach, £45 million in January. It was a January move. He made 8 appearances after that. The second season, or his first full season, only 26 games, but 14 starts, 5 goals. This next season, 28 starts. That's better. Okay, we're not going backwards. We're all good. 8 goals, 3 assists. 7.31 average rating as well. So I like that. He's earned his way into the team, really, isn't he? And his attributes look good. Now, he's right-footed, so playing on the right, he would make a cracking winger because of that crossing ability, the physical attributes. He's very pacey, great agility as well. Looks like a solid player. Good work rates. Okay. What was he up to again? 174. Again, one of the best players in his position. Really solid player for Thomas Hatton. Oh, let's look at his milestones. Has he achieved anything in the game? Oh, he's achieved a lot. He's won the World Cup. Oh, Club World Cup. Oh my God, I thought Scotland won the World Cup then by 2034. I mean, I've seen it happen later on, but that would have been early. He's won multiple Champions Leagues, or one Champions League. He has also won the Super Cup, Copa del Rey, and La Liga multiple times, and a Club World Cup. So he's won a Champions League, which is fantastic. Manchester United's just won it. I think we still have a player there. We'll have a look. So Thomas Hatton, solid start. 27 years of age. Really good. Justin Haas, who might have played in that Champions League final at Manchester United. Of course, he was on loan at Osasuna. Has finally started playing games. Here we go. 5 starts, 23 off the bench, though. This season, 19 starts, 12 off the bench. Still not quite breaking into the first team. And I think you can see why. Those technical abilities are just terrible, aren't they? The mental and physical attributes look great. But I think out of all of the player profiles we're looking at, he looks the worst. He's at 157. So at 25, there's still a chance that he could reach his 200. But here we go. Mark McCartan, the striker, is still at Brentford. Now, he scored the most goals, but he is a striker, of course. He's also wanted by Chelsea, Newcastle, and Tottenham. And at 25 years of age, oh, he looks really good. He looks really good. He also has 24 goals for Northern Ireland in 33 games, which is solid, really. He is scoring a lot of goals in the Premier League. 14 this season, 13 last season. It's been really good. That season, obviously, on loan at Preston, helped him get some first-team football. Just 4 starts, 23 off the bench. But then, 36 starts the season after, and 30 starts the season after that. Mark McCartan is well underway in terms of being a quality player. No awards or trophies won yet. 171 current ability. Right. Who won the last 3 Ballon d'Ors? Obviously, we know it's not going to be one of our guys, but Jean Rego won the most recent one, and Kylian Mbappe picked up his, 7th in total Ballon d'Or? Interesting stuff. Well, we're up to 2037 now, which means Joan Mascaró is 31 years old, and he is at Newcastle. So, of course, the last time we seen him, he was wanted by Newcastle after being transfer listed by Milan. I think it was a good move for him, because you cannot deny the statistics. He moved for £80 million. He has played every season at least 25 times, and every time he's been available, he has started. No appearances off the bench, which is even more impressive. That's how much they value him. Not as exciting in terms of goals or assists, but solid, and the average rating is high. Is Newcastle a good team for him to go to in terms of winning trophies, though? That's the big question. And he's won a couple. He also won the World Cup. He won the World Cup with Spain. So that's decent. He's won 2 FA Cups, 1 Carabao Cup. So, I've also just seen he finished 3rd in the Balon d'Or. Oh, is that going to be the closest we come to a Ballon d'Or win? Joan Mascaró. He is also at 189 current ability, which is decent. Obviously, being 31 means he probably won't get that high. But I think what we can kind of agree with was when he first moved to Peña Deportiva, and he was like 22 and didn't look great, and obviously the move to Leipzig, which wasn't very good in terms of his career, let's be honest, it kind of looked like it was going to be a bit of a wasted talent. But the move to Hibernian was the turning point. You can see that just from games alone. That was the turning point. That really kicked on his career. And if he retired tomorrow, you could say he had a good career, but he's still got some legs left, thankfully, for Joan Mascaró. Now, 30-year-old Thomas Hatton, 179 current ability, is at Real Madrid still, and he is still looking great as well. Now, 18 goals, 9 assists this season alone, which could mean next season, if they have done anything positive, that he could be winning the Ballon d'Or. We won't see that this season, though, unless he's already won it. La Liga and Copa del Rey winners. Won the Champions League in 2035, which is the second time he's won it. It is. So he is a 2-time Champions League winner, but nothing in terms of Ballon d'Or wins. But still, Thomas Hatton, I think so far, has been probably the biggest success that we have seen. Let's have a look, though, at Justin Haas was older, wasn't he? He's still at Manchester United. I think this one's probably the most disappointing one, which is ironic, because, of course, he was at Manchester United for... he's been at the same club for the longest time, and seems to have played a lot of games, but some seasons he's a favoured personnel and sometimes he's not. He's also just won the Champions League and the Premier League the season before. He's won the Champions League multiple times. Could this be an actual good Manchester United side? Well. Marco Rose, of course it is. Marco Rose, the most broken manager in Football Manager 24. Very good stuff. So, not bad at all. Though they finished 4th this season, but they won the Champions League. Could he be expecting a Ballon d'Or win next season? Don't know. But Mark McCartan is at Manchester City now. We've seen, of course, he was wanted by Brentford, and holy hell, look how good he is. Look how good he is. 188 current ability at 28 years old. Mark McCartan, who of course was released from Manchester United's youth academy, now at Manchester City, looks to be one of the best, if not the best striker in the world. Milestones. He's just won the Premier League. Ooh. And was a Champions League Golden Boot winner. Could that be enough? Now, in terms, he's had the most unsuccessful, should we say, career in terms of trophies. Only just winning one this season, and he actually ended up getting a double. He moved from Brentford for £74 million, but it could go up to £102 million. So he's actually the most valuable player that we've got as well, Mark McCartan. But I actually think, I mean, he was the fourth one. He could be the one to go on and lift the Balon d'Or. But let's see, who has won it the last 3 seasons? Which could be the last season. It's João Rego again. 2 seasons for Florian Wirtz. Then it's João Rego. Joan Mascaró, of course, finishing third, in behind Lamine Yamal, who was quieter than what I thought he'd be. I thought he'd be up there winning stuff. But all right, will one of them win it in the next 3 years? Now, we still don't have a player who has reached a full 200 current ability. We've got one that's fairly close, but we do have some sad things that have happened as well. So let's take a look. Age 34 now, we've got Joan Mascaró, who is still at Newcastle. I am buzzing to see. We can start to see a bit of a decline there. Of course, he is 34 now, coming towards the twilight years of his career, but he's still playing a lot. That's still 33 starts for the side. 6 goals, 5 assists. Solid performance. We won't go on the milestones yet. Thomas Hatton is at Al Nassr. That's a shame. I thought he could be in with a shout of winning a Ballon d'Or, but when he goes to Al Nassr, maybe not so much. He is now wanted to go to Arsenal, though, and he is only 33. Potentially could revive a little bit of career there to maybe win a Balon d'Or. Who knows? But we'll check milestones in a second. Justin Haas is still at Manchester United. The loyalty of Justin Haas after all that time from being bought in 2028. We're now in 2040 for 83k. Looks to be a great signing, doesn't it? Because he's played 30 games almost for the last 3 seasons and done quite well, actually. Not too bad for Justin Haas. Mentally, he's a phenomenal player, and physically, he's still good too at age 31, at 174 current ability. But with the highest that I have seen so far, 192, and with 230 all-time goals, which I know is a little bit off, actually, we have Marcus McCartan. And look at him. That is a phenomenal player. 31 years of age now. 21 goals this season, but the season before was 28 and 26 the season before that. So he's had a solid time. I mean, he's never played badly by the looks of it at Manchester City. Really good average rating. So he looks to be our best hope. So let's have a look. Ballon d'Or. Before we have a look at milestones, has any of the lads won it? Mark McCartan has won the Ballon d'Or. Yes! He was the one I'd hoped for. He was the one I'd hoped for. The one that was released from Manchester United. He has won the Ballon d'Or. So, Pierre Diallo won the last 2. By the looks of it, he was at Manchester United, funny enough. No other players was in there. Joan Mascaró, of course, was 3rd place 4 years ago. But Mark McCartan is a Ballon d'Or winner. Oh, you love to see it. So, how did that happen, milestone-wise? Which would have been last season. So, he won the Ballon d'Or there. All he did was win the Premier League. That was it. He won the FIFA Men's Best Player. But yeah, individually, he must have just been so good. But all they did was win the Premier League. No treble or anything like that. Won the Champions League Golden Boot. But yeah, Premier League and Carabao Cup winners this season. Wow. Okay. I thought you would have to have done a little bit more than that. We sometimes see, like, treble winning sides not winning a Ballon d'Or, which is mental. So Joan Mascaró has won the Premier League as well with Newcastle 3 seasons ago. So that's phenomenal stuff. That's really good. Thomas Hatton at Al Nassr. What happened to him after La Liga there? So he's won the Copa del Rey, moved to Al Nassr. We won't know whether he won the league there, of course, because the league's not loaded in the game. And then who was the last one? Justin Haas. Milestones, Champions League winner. UEFA Nations League, Champions League, Champions League. This guy has won a sick ton of Champions Leagues. That's 5. And a Europa League. 2 Europa Leagues. 5 Champions... Manchester United are unbelievable in the Champions League. 4 in a row. They won 4 in a row. That's unbelievable. Mark McCartan, as you can see, top scorer there. Wow, I'm shocked, actually. That Abdou Diallo did win too from Manchester United. Of course, who we're looking at, Justin Haas, never really the key player in this Manchester United side, despite, of course, having 5 Champions League trophies. Amazing stuff. Right, let's go to the end of the careers then and see how it all pans out. Can anybody else win a Balon d'Or? Our first retiree of the video is Joan Mascaró, and what a career he eventually had, of course, after that very terrible move to Leipzig. Eventually getting things back on track at Hibs, retired 36 years of age at Newcastle, which arguably he had his best time there as a Premier League winner. Phenomenal stuff, a 3rd place in the Balon d'Or ranks, Joan Mascaró. Still going on though, we've got 3 players here. Of course, the oldest still being Thomas Hatton. He is also now in Saudi Arabia. Now, actually, he was already in Saudi Arabia. He moved to Chelsea for 2 seasons, then went back to Saudi Arabia. Didn't look like he did an amazing job in... No, he did okay, considering his age, because he still looks decent, really. At 36, he still looks really good. Looks like they've, also temporarily tried playing him in narrow positions as well, which might be beneficial because, of course, his lack of pace now. But, hey, he's done all right. He has done all right. He's up to 143 current ability. I think he looks better than that. But milestone-wise, has he done anything? Doesn't really look like it, but that's fair enough. He's had a good career still, I think, before he retires. Justin Haas, still at Manchester United. The loyalty is unmatched for Justin Haas. Really good. Has he won more Champions Leagues? Doesn't look like it. No, that was the last one that he won. Just a couple of Carabao Cups to add to the list. But what about our Balon d'Or winning Mark McCartan? 34. He is wanted as well by Barcelona and Al Hilal. Still looks amazing, by the way, at 34 milestones. Has he won it again? 3rd place. There's a Premier League win, Carabao Cup. Runner-up. Oh. And that's Club World Cup again. That keeps doing me, that. So the Balon d'Or, which has been won by Marvin Watawi, who you might recognise is always a name that's like a name in the game. He won it when he was at Real Madrid. He did win 2. He did win 2, one back-to-back. Mark McCartan, yes. Then he was 2nd. Then he was 3rd. This has been the success story that we needed. Well done, Mark McCartan. And I think we can kind of end things there, really, because the rest of the guys, they're going to retire soon. He is the youngest. Nobody's going to win the Balon d'Or now. And Mark McCartan, unbelievable. 2 Balon d'Or wins after being released from Manchester United at age 18, moving to Brentford. Never really got things going for a long period of time before this season here, with 13 goals in 36 appearances, making a £102 million move to Manchester City, where he has had a wonderful time. 2 Balon d'Ors, 1 runners-up, 1 third-place finish. Mark McCartan, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic player. Balon d'Or winner. There we go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, if you want to see us do it where we kind of become agents of the side, something like that, I would love to do it. As long as there is enough interest and stuff. Of course, we've got a long period of time now before any new game comes out. So I'm just enjoying doing content that I love to do, that I know you guys love to watch as well. So any suggestions, by all means, it might spark something new as well. But why not check out this video here? Because the Youth to Gold is the method I enjoy doing the most. And we helped save Barcelona from financial turmoil using Youth to Gold method. We had to clear the debt and win the Champions League. That's on screen for you right now.